Most people get this wrong when they travel or live in South Korea. They assume any digital wallet will work everywhere. Then they arrive in Seoul, try to pay for coffee, and suddenly realize their card or app is useless at half the stores. Here's the truth no one tells you. South Korea is one of the most advanced cashless societies in the world, but it is also one of the most fragmented when it comes to digital wallets. That means choosing the wrong wallet can cost you money, limit your payments, and make everyday life more complicated than it needs to be. In this video, you are going to learn the 10 best digital wallets in South Korea for 2026. We will break down which apps actually work in real life, which ones give the best rewards, which ones are essential for locals, and which ones foreigners absolutely need if they want to survive cashless payments in Korea. And more importantly, I'll show you how to combine these wallets so you can save money, avoid hidden fees, and even earn cashback on daily spending. Let's start with the most important one. The first and most essential wallet in South Korea is Kakao Pay. Now if you are in Korea, you will hear about Kakao everywhere. KakaoTalk is the main messaging app, and Kakao Pay is deeply integrated into it. Here's why this matters. In South Korea, payments are not just separate apps. They are built into daily communication. So if you message someone on KakaoTalk, you can also send them money instantly. Now here's where it gets interesting. Kakao Pay is accepted almost everywhere. Cafes, convenience stores, taxis, restaurants, and even online shopping platforms. For someone like Alex, a student in Seoul, Kakao Pay becomes the default way to split dinner bills, pay rent deposits, or buy snacks at a convenience store without ever pulling out a physical card. But here's the problem. Some features require a Korean bank account or local verification, so foreigners might face limitations during setup. Still, Kakao Pay is the foundation of Korea's digital payment system. Next, we have Naver Pay. Naver is Korea's biggest search engine and e-commerce platform, and Naver Pay is its financial extension. Now here's the advantage. If you shop online in Korea, especially on Naver Shopping, this wallet gives you serious cashback and reward points. For example, Jake, a freelancer living in Busan, might use Naver Pay to buy electronics online and accumulate points that he later uses for discounts on future purchases. But here's the catch. Naver Pay is strongest inside the Naver ecosystem. Outside of it, its usage is slightly more limited compared to Kakao Pay. So think of Naver Pay as your shopping rewards engine. Now let's talk about Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay is one of the most powerful mobile payment systems in Korea because Samsung dominates the smartphone market. Now here's where it gets interesting. Unlike some wallets that rely only on QR codes, Samsung Pay can work with both NFC and MS technology. That means you can tap or even swipe in places where older card terminals exist. This makes it incredibly versatile. But here's the limitation. Rewards are not as aggressive as Kakao Pay or Naver Pay. It is more about convenience and compatibility. So Samsung Pay is perfect for people who want universal acceptance. Next, we have Toss. Toss started as a simple money transfer app, but it has grown into a full financial platform. Now here's what makes it powerful. Toss allows you to send money instantly, check your credit score, manage bills, and even invest in financial products. For example, someone like John working in Seoul might use Toss to split rent with roommates, pay utility bills automatically, and track monthly spending in one dashboard. But here's the problem. Toss is slightly more finance-focused, so it may feel overwhelming for beginners. Still, it is one of the most complete financial apps in Korea today. Now let's move to Payco. Payco is another major Korean digital wallet, backed by NAN, a large tech company. Here's the advantage. Payco often provides strong discount coupons, cashback offers, and integration with offline merchants. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Payco is especially useful for people who shop both online and offline because it bridges both worlds effectively. But it is not as universally adopted as Kakao Pay, so you will see fewer QR codes compared to Kakao Pay in everyday life. Next, we have Apple Pay in South Korea. Now, this is important for iPhone users. Apple Pay officially launched in Korea relatively recently, and it is growing fast. Here's the advantage. It is extremely secure, fast, and simple. You just use Face ID and tap your phone. But here's the problem. Merchant adoption is still expanding. It is not yet as universal as Kakao Pay or Samsung Pay. So Apple Pay is great for premium users, but not yet a complete replacement for local wallets. Now, let's talk about Google Pay. Google Pay is available in Korea, but has limited penetration compared to local giants. Here's the truth. In South Korea, local ecosystems dominate. So Google Pay is more of a backup option rather than a primary wallet. But, if you are an Android user and already use Google services, it can still be useful for international transactions or supported merchants. Next, we have L-Pay. L-Pay is part of the Lot Group ecosystem, one of the biggest retail conglomerates in Korea. Now here's the advantage. If you shop at Lotte stores, department stores, supermarkets, or affiliates, you can earn points and rewards. For example, Alex might use L-Pay while shopping at Lotte Mart and later redeem points for groceries or discounts. But here's the limitation. Outside the Lotte ecosystem, usage drops significantly. So this wallet is best for loyal shoppers within the Lotte network. Now let's move to ZeroPay. ZeroPay is a government-supported QR payment system designed to reduce merchant fees. Now here's where it gets interesting. Many small businesses and street vendors use ZeroPay because transaction fees are very low or zero. That means you can often find discounts or easier acceptance in local markets. But here's the problem. The user experience is not as smooth or feature-rich as Kakao Pay or Toss. So ZeroPay is more of a public infrastructure wallet than a lifestyle app. Next, we have Hyundai Card Pay. This is tied to Hyundai Card, one of the most popular credit card issuers in Korea. Here's the advantage. It combines credit card benefits with digital wallet features. So you can track spending, earn rewards, and manage payments in one place. But here's the limitation. It is more useful if you already have a Hyundai credit card. Finally, we have international wallets like Wise and Revolut. Now this is very important for foreigners. Wise allows you to hold multiple currencies and send money to Korea at low exchange rates. Revolut also offers similar multi-currency features. Here's why this matters. If you are an expat or freelancer, these wallets help you avoid high bank fees and bad exchange rates. But here's the catch. They are not widely accepted for everyday QR payments inside Korean stores. So they are not replacements for Kakao Pay or Samsung Pay. Instead, they work alongside them. So what is the best setup for South Korea in 2026? Here's the simple answer. If you are a local or long-term resident, Kakao Pay should be your main wallet. It is accepted almost everywhere and deeply integrated into Korean life. Then add Toss for financial management and transfers. Use Naver Pay if you shop online frequently. Use Samsung Pay or Apple Pay for universal tap-to-pay convenience. And use Wise if you deal with international money transfers. Now, here's the important insight most people miss. In South Korea, no single wallet dominates everything. Instead, people use a combination of apps depending on the situation. Coffee shop, Kakao Pay. Online shopping, Naver Pay. Money transfer, Toss. International payment, Wisepay. Convenience store, Samsung Pay. Once you understand this system, you stop overpaying fees and start using rewards strategically. Before we finish, here's a simple strategy you can follow. Use Kakao Pay as your daily base wallet. Add Toss for financial control. And keep one international wallet like Wise for money transfers. This combination covers almost every situation you will face in Korea. To wrap everything up, digital wallets in South Korea are not just payment tools. They are lifestyle systems deeply embedded into communication, shopping, transportation, and banking. If you choose the right combination, you will not only make payments easier, but you will also save money, earn rewards, and avoid unnecessary fees. If this guide helped you understand how digital wallets work in South Korea, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more finance breakdowns, and comment below if you want a comparison with another country.